Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 130th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows. Morbius?
It couldn't be Morbius.
A bunch of nonsense. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and one could say the Milo to my Dr. Michael Morbius.
It's Dr. Michael Morbius. I think I'm more. I'd say I'm the nurse, whatever her.
You mean
the doctor?
Well, I was about to drop a major Morbius spoiler there without even warning. So pardon me.
Consider yourself pardoned. Royal decree.
I might want to throw Morbius jabs in throughout this episode. So let's just say spoilers for Morbius.
Spoilers
straight up the
immediately.
Front. This whole episode will be a spoiler for Morbius. So I was gonna say you might call yourself a bit of a Mrs. Morbius. Big spoiler at the end. Very proud that I came up with that one.
I'm proud of you as well. That is brilliant.
Thank you. Anyway, here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense, and today is a special episode because we're doing mini reviews, news, and a topic. But let me tell you, ain't just any mini reviews, news, and topic. It's, some average mini reviews. But then,
the mini reviews are okay, and the news is okay. But
the news, we also have a little bit of very, very late Will Smith slap talk. We need to discuss.
We do have some slap talk,
which I'm very excited for. Even though we're 2 weeks late. And then we finally arrived at the blockbuster phenomenon that is Morbius.
Michael Morbius.
Also,
wait,
upsetting.
before we start this, I'm quickly gonna do a quick nose blow.
Okay. Oh my god. Blood is running out of Freddy's nose right now. Maybe I want to lick it up Michael Morbius style.
So you become Mr. Michael Morbius nurse Dr. Milo. I'm very
sexy.
I'm very proud I came up with that one.
Also, so upsetting that my girlfriend has in fact started just randomly at horrible points saying, Morbius. Which is
that is unfortunate. That is
very unacceptable.
I believe I sent you a voice message where my girlfriend, whenever the word Morbius is mentioned, she just literally goes every time.
Yes, you did. It was a proper review. I mean, when I saw your thing that said #stanky, I was like, oh god. Anyway, let's get some order to the show. There are time codes down below, by the way.
Please, if you want to skip straight to the goodie, then you know where it is.
Also, we have even some good Cnews this week, I think.
Do
actually.
we?
Well, I don't
my god, this episode is going to be insane.
So, yeah, what an episode. Also, by the way, big L on our part, we did not do an April Fool's bit last week. So do you want to do one now?
Okay.
Think of one on the spot.
Just saw Morbius. Was amazing. Everyone should go watch it.
You've just cost so many people their money.
I've basically just robbed tens of millions of people.
Well, first of all, let's start with some. Let's just blast through these mini reviews. Mini reviews?
Mini reviews?
I spit
more like
on them.
Michael Morbius reviews, because we don't want to, because they're bad. Anyways,
never mind. I think we should start over. Actually, I've kind of not my groove yet. Actually,
this episode right here is it's failing.
First of all, I finished Euphoria. It's a good show. That whatever. Then I told you these mini reviews are great.
Damn, these reviews are mini. I watched this. Good show. Moving on.
Genuinely, I think this is what the mini reviews were supposed to be when we first started doing them. We were like 1 minute reviews at the start of the episode, and it just turned into like, hey, this whole episode is just mini reviews. But then, in a more interesting way, I guess.
Morbius interesting way? Go on.
Sorry, yes.
Sorry, big spoiler there.
I did watch West Side Story, the new Spielberg movie about the snapping men. It was very good. Very delightful little musical and a classic tale. I actually had never seen the original, or at least I haven't seen it in a long time, so I was mucho surprised when the big twists happened. Ansel, I have to say, not the best part of the movie.
Not a great performance, or what?
A little bit kind of goofy, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't really take him seriously. But everyone else, he's fine, whatever. Everyone else is very good. Just beautifully shot. Great songs.
Spoilers for the end.
Yes.
Or spoilers for it. Does Ansel die?
He does. So it's
Lol.
Lamau, that scene's hilarious. When his girlfriend's crying and she unites the sharks and the jets, that shit had me rolling. Anyway.
That shit had me rolling.
That's my review on Letterboxd. Follow me, by the way, at RealBHL Hudson. But
I don't know what's going on, guys.
I have a letterbox now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But anyway.
What is a letterbox?
It's a social media thing where you review movies. God, you're on a movie. I guarantee you everyone watching this has a letterboxd. Okay, maybe not everyone. Most.
Okay, maybe about 2%.
Anyway, Ansel does die, and it's like a Romeo and Juliet based on thing. So it's like from two opposing families, and then they fall in love, and then they die or whatever. Really good movie. So I would recommend.
Okay. Well, I believe it's time for the intro.
The unfortunately now never ending. I saw Cian sent me the news directly. Yeah.
So, Attack on Titan. I don't know how they're pulling the biggest April's Fools here, because I don't know how many times they're going to be doing this, where they say it's the last season and then they just keep renewing it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, at what point are you going to believe them when they say it's the last season?
Oh, it better be the last season next time, because otherwise,
I'm sick of this shit.
I mean, I'll still watch. Who am I kidding? But goddamn, like the last episode, very very good. It was kind of like a flashback, like very emotional to what's been kind of like the lead up and build up to everything that's been going on. And then it ends with just insane amounts of chaos and just a very very cool ending shot, and it's just like very hyped for the next season. But it is, like it works once, I guess, if you like tease that it's like, oh, it's gonna be the end, and then another one comes. But now they've done it twice in a row. How many times can they do this?
They're kind of yanking on your chain a bit.
They're kind of jerking me off in the wrong corner here, I'd say.
It's a beloved,
as the saying goes,
colloquial expression.
Never get jerked off in the wrong corner.
What is the right corner? Don't answer that.
There's many right corners, but great episode still. But I was just like, I was so hyped for it. Again, I was thinking, there's no way they're going to end this in one episode. And I was right, but still a little bit annoying because I need to wait another year for it.
Yeah. But hey, at least, I guess, I don't know, there is something to be said for a good ending, though. Like, you don't want something to just kind of go on forever. So, I get
the show's been great, and there's still so much, like, potential left in it, and, like, still a lot of, like, unsolved stuff, so I'm still very excited for it, but I just want it to come now.
Just
I want the excitement to hit me.
Their teasing method is kind of a little annoying.
Yeah.
Have you seen the first episode? And I guess the second will be out when this comes out, but we're recording this on Monday. Have you seen Moon Knight with Oscar?
I have not.
Oscar McIsaac.
Oscar McIsaac.
I really enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was, it's actually dare I say, a bit spooky.
Dare I say I shivered my timbers?
I shat myself. Sorry. Last time we'll say that.
Yes.
Our best recurring joke. Also, I had someone ask me, what's our... I was like, we have an ongoing joke about Morbius in the podcast. And they're like, what's the joke? And I was like, well, it's just kind of we say Morbius, but we kind of just say it in a certain... it's not really a joke, actually, now that I think about it.
I think back on it, we're just seriously, like, delirious.
Yeah. When I think about it, most of our recurring jokes are just us saying words in kind of a silly voice. Anyway, existential crisis about our careers aside. Moon Knight.
About our Morbius references.
Really good show. There's...
really good
So sorry, I thought I saw a guy with green hair out my window, and I was just like, God, it's peculiar. It was a hat. Anyway. Sorry, I'm way too excited to talk about Morbius. I'm sorry. Anyway.
What an absolute, like, ecstatic high we're on right now. And then, whoo! Oh, it's green hair. Never mind, it's a hat. Morbius!
Moon Knight. So, okay, Oscar Isaac. Bit of a British boy. Very good. I thought his accent was pretty solid.
Official review. He is a
bit of a lad,
I would call him bruv.
And it's intriguing. Yeah, spooky. It had some like horror elements to it where like there's a pretty, I don't know, like for a Marvel show, there's a pretty scary jump scare where like he turns around, there's like demon whatever the fuck behind him, and it's like Jesus. But it's like, I don't know, it's quite effective in building up the psychological horror, but it's also kind of funny. Like, he has this voice in his head, and it's a little bit... what did it remind me of? It's a little Venom-esque, but much better. Like, there's someone, like, a voice in his head that's kind of like this idiot, whatever. And I don't know, it's pretty intriguing. Ethan Hawke walks with glass in his shoes. Big yikes.
Why?
I don't know.
Big yoinkers from Ethan there.
Yeah, it's kind of an L, Ethan. You're not supposed to do that. I don't know if you know this, but shoes come without glass for a reason. No, it really, honestly, really good so far, and I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. Yeah, and much more, I don't know, kind of what I was hoping for, like a little bit more interesting, a little more unique, a little more dark, and kind of different than, say, Hawkeye gets stuck in a Christmas tree, the series.
True. Although, is there anything more invigorating than watching Hawkeye fall down and hit some jingle bells?
I would love to see Hawkeye fall down and hit his own jingle bells.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Do you know what I need from the Marvel Universe? A Jackass episode with only Hawkeye nutshots.
Oh, that would be truly spectacular. Anyway, go ahead.
Have I watched much else?
I only have one other one that I can just blast.
I've watched a bit of Family Guy.
I watched an episode of... Ooh, what are we connected? Did we watch this in extremely popular television show in the same week?
Did we watch this very easy to watch eating dinner television show?
Yeah, I was bored trying to fall asleep, and I was I put on an episode. I've never watched it before. What'd you think?
What season? What episode?
I picked a random one. It was where Stewie and the dog time travel back to the first episode.
That's literally the one I watched. I'm not even joking.
No.
And then they see a bunch of themselves.
And then they all... No.
What? We are connected.
I started this as a bit of a joke, ha ha ha, I'm so connected. We are literally...
You are literally the Milo to my vampire bat fluid.
I was going to say you're the vampire blood to my Morbius downing that thing with a disturbing technique.
So never say that. Never say that ever again. Morbius downing that thing with a disturbing technique.
The way he would drink that blood, that was like two hands around the... I'm sorry, I just looked...
Around the what? Around the what, BHL Hudson?
The blood sack.
The blood sack.
Sorry, this is a terrible episode.
Yeah, in Morbius, spoiler alert here, Dr. Michael Morbius just takes two hands and grips the blood sack and sucks it.
We'll move on. I'm just saying the way he drank that blood looked a little strange. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So Family Guy. Anyway.
There's going to be so many Morbius tangents in this episode.
There really are. But did you start watching it because you've been getting a bunch of YouTube shorts of Family Guy clips, and then
I've gotten a lot of TikTok and YouTube shorts of Family Guy.
So I was just fuck it, I guess.
But, that's not why I started watching. I started watching because my girlfriend was like, "Do you want to watch a bit?" She's seen it all. I was like, "Yeah, sure." And we just picked a random episode, and
it was the same one.
What are the chances?
What'd you think?
Literally, there's 200 episories, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 30 seasons or some shit. Yeah,
that's insane. I can't.
That is pretty weird.
I really like it. I find it really funny. Humor's great, and yeah, just an easy watch thing. I don't think I could binge it, but it's just nice to have on the background while you're eating or something.
Yeah, it's a very easy I don't know. It's I think it's a very hit or miss show, but I think a lot of those adult animated cartoons kind of are that, because they're just a joke per minute. Every single second there's basically a joke, and so it's some of them are kind of whatever, and then some of them will kind of make you chuckle. So yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. It's not really exactly my kind of thing, but again, for kind of an easy watch.
Yeah, some of the jokes do go over my head because I am el stupido, but a lot of it is quite funny. It's just easy to watch.
Sorry.
Morbius. Oh, what the fuck?
It's a disaster already. Well, there you go. My last one, I did watch there was a new Michael Bisping documentary. Big hype up.
I won't lie. There's a part of me that thought you were going to say, there's this new Michael Morbius movie.
Seamless transition into the review. There's a new Michael Bisping documentary, and as our listeners may or may not know, big fan of Michael Bisping. One of my, I don't know, I don't want to say idols.
Heroes.
One of my idols, I would say. And I was very excited for it, and I have to say, it was okay. It was not as good as I was hoping.
I was really, really excited for it. I have to say, I am still not happy with it.
it was mainly like it had some new stuff at the beginning and the end about his life, which was a little bit interesting. But the main thing that I didn't love was that it didn't really bring anything new to the table. And I guess it's like my fault for watching. Like I've seen like probably 3 other documentaries about Michael Bisping, and I've read his book, I listened to his podcast, all this stuff. But like it literally used the same footage from like the documentary that's on YouTube for free.
I don't want to be mean, but how many documentaries about one man's life can you make?
Well,
you say you've already watched 3?
Yeah, well, there's one. There's one on
Bisping,
YouTube.
it sounds like Bisping's this like great freaking political leader that's done so many good things.
Well, like he has an incredible story, and there's one that's free on YouTube. It's called Bisping. It's from like BT Sport, I think, and that I think is like fantastic. And you watch it right now; it's like 45 minutes, and that I think is like the perfect quintessential documentary. It sums everything up, and what it did better than this one is like it built up. That was like how I learned about his story, and like for someone who doesn't know about him, it builds up. I watched it with my dad as well. It builds up that like emotion and really conveys like how fucking crazy it is that this guy did this stuff. And I feel like this documentary didn't do that as well. And then again, it used some of that same footage, and like editing wise, it was just a little weird. It had like clips from YouTube that were like in like 360p or something. I'm like, how did you? You're
very interesting.
It had Vin Diesel in it. How are you not getting better footage here?
Vinny Boy was in this. How are you not getting quality stuff?
I mean, it was still solid. Just I was a little bit disappointed. And also, I want to reiterate that, this may age terribly, or this could be a beautiful manifestation moment. But my dream movie to make. I mean, maybe not like the quintessential, but like one of my dream movies to make would be a Michael Bisping biopic. Proper. We've talked about before. It's such a perfect story. It's such a perfect narrative, and it's a sports story. It's kind of Creed-esque. You could do a certain way, and I'm just saying.
And I take it I would play Bisping.
Yes, and we would have Jared Leto as
Morbius.
Yeah, precisely. But anyway, good. Solid stuff. But I've seen better, and I will do better when I make the Bisping film and win best things at the Oscar. Best director.
And I won this Bisping movie was best thing of the year.
What a seamless transition. News time. Do we want to talk about the Oscars real quick? Did anything of note happen?
Did anything crazy happen in the Oscars this year? I don't think so.
Did Will Smith assault a man?
Did Will Smith assault Christopher Rockefeller?
No, he did not.
I think yes.
Moving on. An It prequel series is in the works. Well, I mean, I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room. And by the elephant, I mean
Will Smith's right hand.
By the way, fun fact, I did make a YouTube short about this that I made in about like 30 to 45 minutes, put very little effort into, and it has, I believe, 75,000 views. So,
damn,
goes to show.
I saw that one, actually.
You should never put effort into anything.
Was the Will Smith slap faked?
And the
pros and cons.
Yeah, and at the end I'm like, who knows? Let me know in the comments.
So you came here for answers.
I don't have them. Little did you know, the answers are within you. So overall, okay, thoughts. I know we're 2 weeks late on this, by the way. This is the last thing you'll ever hear about it, hopefully. Let's just get it out here. I've been dying to talk to you about it.
Yes, me too. Honestly, you're the one who brought it to light for me, because I woke up, and then before I'd even woken up, I just checked I see on my phone, have you seen the big Willie style news? And I was like, have I? And then I go check, and I see that Wilson Smithson has slapped a man.
I had the same. I woke up and I was told, like, see Will Smith slap someone at the Oscars? It's like, no way, no he didn't. And then I couldn't. I watched it for like an hour. I was like, this can't be. It was so perplexing. So
it's crazy.
For those who don't know, which is no one. I mean,
yeah, everyone knows at this point.
Yeah, he makes a joke about his wife's hair, and then he slaps him, and
Yeah, I think what makes it like, obviously the slap is the main part of it, but what makes it so much more awkward and just like is like him yelling, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth like twice. It's like
yeah,
Jesus.
I honestly, it's such an I've seen it so many times now because it's been like replayed everywhere that it kind of like you've become numb to it. But like it's such an absurd moment, and especially because I didn't watch the full ceremony. Like I don't know how to watch it here.
Yeah.
So I only saw that moment out of context. But like if you were just watching the full 3-hour show and that moment just happens, like how
you must be sitting there like
that?
Jaw dropped, just
Will,
like oh my
and like,
god.
Also, it's so weird. Like, I'm used to seeing this kind of stuff, like, in UFC press conferences or something. Like, the biggest stars in the world in their suits in this, like, theater
Like,
at the
in
most
this, like,
prestigious event.
Like, prestigious event where they're all sitting there, like, drinking their little mojitos or whatever the fuck they're doing. And then Will Smith, front row, just goes up and slaps a man.
It's like, it's yeah. Again, we're so numb to it now because we've seen it for, like, 2 weeks. But it's unbelievable. And then yelling obscenities at him. And it's like... over, such a... I mean, there's a whole controversy, like, who was in the right, who was in the wrong.
I mean, obviously, I don't think he should have made the joke. But...
yeah. I mean, it was...
definitely there's... Big Willie style is definitely in the wrong here. Like, come on.
Yeah, in fairness, I think... like, I didn't know she had a condition. And I don't know if he knew. I totally... there's a whole debate to be had of whether the joke was appropriate or not. I do think, like, when you go to these award shows... yeah, instantly that conversation is null and doesn't matter because he hit him. I mean, like,
yeah,
it doesn't. At that point, like, you no longer like. He should have. If anything, he should have. I don't know. He could have said something in his speech. He could have ended the speech by being like, "By the way, fuck you, Chris Rock," or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And also because it's the whole. He's there to roast people. Like everything.
The whole point is
at that show is them getting roasted.
And I know it's like an insensitive comment, but I'm sure it wasn't the most insensitive of the night, honestly.
Also,
like,
yeah,
I don't know what
I've seen way worse jokes since then.
Like, have you seen Ricky Gervais like at the Golden Globes? Like all the stuff he says.
Again, the whole thing is just so. It's like of course she's well within her right to be offended, and Will Smith is well within his right to be annoyed about it. But you can't just walk up and hit him, slap him. Which, however,
who does he think he is?
It also was hilarious. I hate to say it.
It was funny.
A serious
I hate to
situation,
say
like assault or whatever. But it was hysterical, just Big Willie style, going up and I couldn't believe it. I was like, my immediate reaction was
I couldn't have asked for a better moment.
It was like, how the fuck is this real? And yet then, I don't know. I thought it was fake at first. I think he could have even played it off as like. Honestly, what I think happened is you see him laughing at the joke. I think he looked at Jada and sees that she's not laughing. And then I think he started walking up there. Have you ever been in a situation where, like, you start doing something, you're not really sure how it's going to end?
You don't know what's actually happening.
You're just like, okay, I'm walking up here, I'm in front of everyone, I got to do something. And so he's like, well, I guess if I slap him, that'd be kind of a funny... And I think he kind of thought maybe it was, like, a funny thing, but then he, like, had to commit to it, because then he was like, wait a minute, I just slapped someone. Like, I have to now act like I'm really angry.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely regretted it the moment he did it.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, the only way to save this is to act like a... Because... yeah, I could be totally wrong. I got the vibe that he, like, thought it would be, like, a funny thing. This is all happening in a second.
Proper.
But then, yeah, he did it for real, and then he realized, like, wait a minute, like, I've kind of, like, done... And he was like, then he had to, like, act extremely angry. But then also he gave that weird speech afterwards about defending his family and all this shit, and it's like... there's also all the backstory about Jada and the entanglement and how he's been kind of ridiculed for years now because of that. I mean, again, I don't know if we want to ridicule Will Smith at risk of being... beaten to death by him. But look, that whole situation, obviously I feel for him, but also them making it public makes it like, I mean, I feel like you're allowed to
make fun of it then.
I mean, if they did that whole red table.
I'm allowed to point and laugh.
It's gone so off the rails. Well, they did that whole red table or open table, whatever, which was, he was clearly uncomfortable with. There's a lot, True Jordy did a great podcast about it. There's a lot of stuff weird about that whole thing.
Yeah.
I've written a few notes here down, just that I want to get through here. First of all, I just want to note, a little bit of like an emergency meeting here. We've joked about Will Smith a lot.
Yes, we have.
About his...
So should we be worried?
Well, we did... I went back and listened to some clips. I believe... I couldn't find this clip. We did talk about his orgasm controversy, where he says he throws up when he orgasms, or he used to.
Right.
Probably not so happy about that. He also was featured, and this made me laugh quite hard when I discovered it, in a Characters We Could Beat Up pod. And I think we should revisit this after... So what we said at the time, we said he may have become soft from all the YouTube stuff he's been doing. Said if he was...
but that's certainly not the case.
We said if he had been training for a movie role, then maybe he could beat us. But otherwise, we weren't sure. And then in the end, we decided to flip a coin, and we ended up saying we'd beat Will Smith. So do we think...
But now, if we mention anything bad about his wife, would he fly into a murderous rampage?
Definitely. So if we don't mention her, if we compliment her, but no, we just have to keep her name out of her fucking mouth. I mean, also that slap form. I'm sorry, that was terrible slap form. I mean,
it was
a garbage.
Have
slap.
you ever slapped someone?
Chris Rock's like 50 pounds lighter than him, and he like barely moved. Anyway, so we beat the shit.
Are you saying you'd want Will Smith to properly lay him out?
Yeah. Well, can you? I mean, because that's the boundary we're walking here. Imagine if he just like actually. Imagine if he knocked him out. Like, imagine if he hit him like with his knuckles, and he like just slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Like, what would they have done?
I feel like somehow I feel like just Josh Gad would start applauding.
Yeah, no, almost certainly. I did text my dad about it, and in true Papa Hudson fashion, he just wrote back, "Will the clown." So classic.
Very, very in-depth review of the whole situation.
I'd also like to mention that when I asked him about Tom Brady's retirement, his text response was just, I was like, "Did you hear about Tom Brady?" And he just wrote, "Goat?" ? And I was like, okay, all right, thank you, Papa Hudson.
Thank you, Dad.
Let's see. Imagine being the documentary category. Yeah, that's gotta suck ass, winning an Oscar after that happened. Let's see. Yeah. Denzel comforted him.
Denzel did comfort. He said something very like biblical and like very absurdly wise.
Yeah, it's like, no, you just smacked Chris Rock. Like,
Denzel does seem like the kind of grandfather of all like, you know, like male actors, or like he's kind of like, you know, he's the Rock. Not as in he's the Dwayne, but he's the Rock. He was like, sometimes in the darkest hour, the devil will come for us all. We just need to like stay strong. It's like Denzel. Your boy Willie walked up and slapped a man for making a joke.
Also, I mean, there is the angle of. And again, if we look at it, obviously it was wrong for Will Smith to do that. If we look at it in more of the funny way, something low-key kind of hilarious about smacking a man and then winning an Oscar 20 minutes later.
Yeah, it is. I hate to say it, but it is a little bit of an alpha move.
It's kind of legendary. We don't condone it, but also, imagine the scenes. I also, sorry, go ahead.
Also, the fact that, I mean, I know Chris Rock is obviously shocked, and you know, it's not a nice situation to be in, but overnight, his tour tickets sold more than they did the entire last month. So, like, everyone's kind of benefiting a little bit from it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the Oscars, their ratings went up. You know, everyone's talking about Will Smith. I think people are mad at him, but I mean, like, everyone's talking about him. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
He's relevant a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was also fake, because, like, the Oscars need these kind of stunts to, like, help their ratings. So, I worry they might lean into this kind of thing, and, like, it might turn into more of a... I mean, one of my notes here says, who will fight next year? So... What I want to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson do a people's elbow on Dame Judi Dench.
I was literally about to say some frail old woman.
Sorry, we don't mean to call you frail. That's disrespectful. However, we do hope Dwayne hits you with the people's elbow.
But the thing is, do you think Big Willie style would have done this to any other person apart from someone who's smaller than him? Like, do you think if it
was Dwayne, no.
Like, it was Dwayne, no. But, like, if it was, like, McConaughey, do you think he would have walked up and done it? I don't think so.
No.
I think Chris Rock, in fairness, Chris Rock's got a slappable face. He does.
I mean, that's the takeaway from this. You couldn't resist. Look at that face.
Who would not slap him?
I mean, I guess because they kind of know each other-ish. It seems like they kind of have some sort of rapport. Like, I don't know. I don't think he would have slapped McConaughey. I think McConaughey would have beat the shit out of him if he tried to slap him.
I think so.
I think McConaughey would have gone to a cool, like, somehow a cool and collected, but yet also psychotic rampage. Like, all right.
Yeah, I feel like McConaughey
would have beat the fuck out of you.
He's like, he gets slapped, just leans into the mic. All right. Pulls out his revolver, just shoots Smith dead in the chest.
It's like, all right, now the real party starts. Just pulls out chainsaw.
Green light.
Oh, you want to make my day, buddy? Pulls out bazooka, runs off stage. 20 minutes later, comes back in a fucking, like, I don't know, a bulldozer.
Oh, you want to make my day, huh? Leaves.
Completely
2
different.
Hour silence where
the show just goes on and suddenly just emerges. Bulldozer.
You just hear him in the back of the audience. He comes in on a pogo stick. It's like, oh, Willie, you messed up this time.
He's for some reason entirely naked.
We all know the reason.
He only believes in nude combat. It's the only way to honor a man.
He takes cockfighting literally.
Anyway, the last thing, this definitely is going to win the Big Willie Style Award. And also, would you say it was kind of Tom Cruise-esque in its freak-out nature?
I would say a little bit. That it absolutely was Tom Cruise-esque. Was Tom Cruise there?
If he was, I think he would have stopped it, maybe. Because Tom Cruise is built different, you know. Well, moving on to the next piece of news. We have
anyways.
we have genuinely some pretty rough news this week.
Rough?
Okay.
Has someone died?
Well, no, but okay. This I don't know if we can talk about this, but okay, wait. We'll start with this one. That's slightly more funny, but it's not. I mean, it's not great. Did you hear about the Ezra Miller situation? It's not funny. It's not funny at all. But this headline did make me laugh from Evening Standard. Ezra Miller, restraining order for the... Sorry. No, this is not funny. This is not funny.
Sorry. Not even say it out loud.
It says restraining order for the Flash actor who, quote, burst into couple's bedroom. Sorry, that's the visual image of Ezra Miller, Flash actor, just whipping open a bedroom door.
He's in Flash suit.
Also, the picture, his mugshot is so scary. He was in Hawaii. A judge has granted a couple a temporary restraining order after they alleged he burst into their room, made threats, and stole from them. He said, quote, I will...
What?
Alleged that the Fantastic Beasts actor told one of them, Sorry, it's not funny. It's just because they wrote the Fantastic Beasts actor. That's not okay. It's just the fact that they specified it was Fantastic Beasts actor.
Man is a millionaire and then decides to go on holiday in Hawaii and just bursts into a random couple's house and steals from them. What's he doing?
I don't want to say anything, but did he or did he not choke someone and get in trouble for that a while ago? Showed Ezra Miller choking a woman, a bar employee identified. Okay, whatever. Let's see. On Wikipedia, it says following a physical confrontation with patrons at a karaoke bar.
The Fantastic Beast was all-star.
At a karaoke bar. Anyway, so, we don't know the exact details. I'm just reading off the internet. We are not saying, confirming or denying any of this. We don't want to get sued. Anyway, Ezra Miller, not the best headlines to see, but I'm sorry for laughing.
Great.
We're in a bit of a good mood because it's a Morbius episode. Okay, I'm not trying to laugh at this. It's obviously not a great situation, but anyway. Well, this next, I don't know if we can do this next piece of news because we're in a laughing mood and genuinely sad.
Okay, let's go for it.
But did you hear about Bruce Willis? Because it's also not great because we've had a few joking segments about Bruce Willis.
We've had a few joking segments about, especially his death in Glass and stuff like that.
And also his upcoming movie schedule, which was, a lot of direct-to-DVD or whatever. So, retroactively, that stuff doesn't look great. I'm sorry about that. So Bruce Willis retired from acting because he's been diagnosed with, I believe, like a form of dementia, which obviously, horrible and...
Yeah.
Obviously, our thoughts go out to Bruce Willis and his family. And, and also, just like in terms of the retiring from acting, he has had a legendary career. And, he's an iconic actor. He's been in some incredible films, given some incredible performances. And, yeah, it's a sad way to go out, or like a sad way for it to come to an end. And we wish him all the best, him and his family. So, yeah. So sorry for the sad news to kind of break things up. But I thought we should address that because it's a pretty big announcement.
Yeah.
Then,
anyways, Morbius.
Well, next up is Morbius. So let's do a slight transition. First of all, there is an It prequel series, but I guess we can skip that. But that provides a little bridge to the Morbius stuff. I'll start off light with the Morbius because it is a piece of news, and this made me laugh hysterically. Ooh. Did you see the Morbius Tyrese Gibson tweet?
I did not.
Oh my god! So if someone on April Fool's made a clear, could not be more clearly satirical, Photoshop of a quote from Martin Scorsese, which said basically, Morbius is the height of cinema and I could never make anything close to it. Not even as a joke, not really that great. It's okay, haha, Martin Scorsese would never say that. Tyrese Gibson posted it on his Instagram and wrote, oh my god, what an honor. Congratulations to the director of Morbius. The king himself said that our movie's great. And I was like, Tyrese, it was just kind of sad. I don't want to imagine being that person who has to tell him that it's clearly a joke because Morbius was so bad. But it was just such a Tyrese moment that I just very thoroughly enjoyed.
A heavy Tyrese moment. Oh, I've got some terrible, terrible news.
Oh god.
And I said I wouldn't. I promised her. I didn't promise. I said I wouldn't say this. I said that to her, but I'm gonna say it anyways. After the movie, after watching Morbius, we'll get to the Morbius bits. But I had to make a little comment and fucking Tyrese was there And then she's like, yeah. But he is so funny in Fast and Furious.
Oh.
I genuinely I'm not joking. I walk with my head in my hands for like 5 minutes. It's like, I cannot believe the audacity of this woman.
She really claimed Blanta as a
She really said
comedy
Blanta is the comedy gold in Fast and Furious. She's like, he's by far the funniest in that series. Like, oh my goodness.
Did you not even see Ludacris? I feel like every episode
did you not see Ludacris?
Every episode I feel like I flip-flop on whether you should marry your girlfriend or leave her immediately.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a leave her immediately kind of episode. Wow. Well, I think I sent this to you a few days before we saw it, because it's been now an ongoing bit of a running joke that Morbius is terrible, and I'm seeing it with my girlfriend. She sent me a review that said, Morbius is a film that was written in crayon and edited with a chainsaw, which I thought was an appropriate build-up to Morbius.
Inappropriate, yeah.
There were a lot of good memes about it, like, guys, be careful, I had 2 Morbius tickets, someone broke into my car and left 4 more.
And that 4 is very good.
But so, I guess, do we now jump into full spoilers, our review of Morbius?
Milo.
The shittest character in all of film. So, okay,
Very aggressive way of putting it.
Sorry, what a way to open.
The shittest character in all of cinema history.
So we've been building up to this for a while in kind of a joking sense. I've been saying it's going to be terrible and generic and boring and bad, and you've been genuinely excited.
I've been excited to watch it. I've never thought
20 episodes of build-up, I would like my retribution and you to publicly apologize.
I never said it was going to be good.
Fair.
I just said I was excited.
In fairness, I was kind of excited to see it as well by the end of it. I was
exactly.
Like, finally,
so I'll have my retribution. Thank you very much.
You know what? I'm sorry. But so, what did you think in the end of Morbius?
Well, okay.
Yeah. We got here today.
I mean, we're gathered here today to talk about what is Jared Leto doing with his acting career? God damn.
He's a talented actor, probably.
He is. Okay, sorry, tangent. A terrible movie. Possibly the worst I've seen in a very, very long time.
I believe my video that's going up in a few days is going to be called Morbius, worst superhero movie ever? Question mark.
Quite possibly.
It's up there. It's
certainly up there.
It wasn't. I don't know. I'll say this. I had a little bit of fun, like ironically, like making fun of it, which I didn't think I was going to get any of. Like I thought it was going to be truly boring and like generic, and there was a little bit of like so bad it's good.
I had a few of those moments, but I also wished I had more.
Yes, it wasn't. It did sit in that middle ground a little bit of being like so, like not so bad it's good, but like just so bad that it's nothing,
That's
and it's
bad.
like yeah, so bad it's bad. Yeah, I mean, I found most of it to be. And I say this in my review, just like completely like symbolic of what like the worst parts of superhero movies these days. Like it's like trying to build a franchise, trying to be part of a universe, and giving no attention to the story, the editing, the characters, anything being interesting.
The CGI, it was just
like it felt like a movie no one wanted to make. Like it truly felt like a movie that like
there was no soul in it.
No.
I will say I was like in the first 10 minutes, or not first 10 minutes, but like as soon as he gets the powers, I was like,
the first Morbius scene is okay.
The first bullet whizzed past his head. I was like, you know what? That's okay. I like that. And then they decided to do it 20 more times in the movie.
I was like, you know what? Not a bad slow-mo effect. The mist kind of thing. Kind of dope.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
Kind of dope. I was like, Dr. Michael Morbius, you might just have pulled one out your ass brilliantly. But then, it's the only action shot they ever do.
Yes, that's all the action. The CGI even... Is it just me, or does like the CGI of Morbius look pretty good in that first Morbius scene, and then it just looks
I think it does.
awful?
They might just have blown the entire budget on that first scene.
They have these like horrible Snapchat filter looking faces for the rest of it. Look, okay, positives, there's that scene, and I liked the little bit, and they could have leaned so much more into this and made it so much more interesting, but when they occasionally had like kind of these horror movie elements to it, and like there's a little, for a PG-13 film, there's more like blood and gore than I was expecting, which I realized like you kind of have to do for a character who drinks blood.
For us, it was PG-15 or 15.
Well, it's 15, but like in America, like it's like I did PG-13 or rated R, and this one was PG-13. And so I assume, yeah, it must have been. And so for that, like unlike Venom, where like that's something, this might be the only thing it did better than Venom. Like, I kind of enjoyed that, and, like, the little bit horror, that hallway scene, you know, it's kind of generic, and sort of, like...
I thought the hallway scene was a little bit, like,
yeah, know. But at least it was, like, it felt like something a little bit different, like, a little bit of effort was put into that, whereas, like, everything else, from the dialogue to the story progression, you see everything coming a million miles away, and it's just, like... It's just so... Like, that opening scene just... such a vitriolic review, but like that opening scene just pissed me off because it was like look here, we showed you the origin, now you care. It's like now you're invested. It's like, no, you can't just show 2 seconds of like, look, they know each other, and it's like, okay, and now like you should be invested for the film. And it's like that opening scene was terrible. I have to say I did enjoy in that opening scene, one of the moments where I laughed in the cinema was when he, like, this kid arrives, Milo arrives, he's like, hi, my name is whatever the fuck, like 2 seconds pass, and then he immediately just collapses. Like, he just... Have you seen those memes where it's like, dies of cringe? Like, that's what that reminded me of. He
just walks in, my name's Milo.
He, like, said one sentence, and then he just... And I was like... And then he fixes it with a ballpoint pen or some shit.
The one thing you laughed at in this movie is a serious medical condition of an orphan.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't laughing at that. It was just the terrible timing and, like, complete lack of any kind of pace. Yeah, Jared Leto wasn't terrible, but he was just so charismaless and uninteresting.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like, he was by far probably one of the better things in the movie, but that's not saying a lot because the movie was shit and he wasn't very good. It was just like a very average.
He wasn't bad. Like, he just kind of like did his.
He was just there.
Job.
He didn't bring anything that interesting to the table.
Matt Smith,
terrible.
What the fuck?
What is that? Like, I feel like he becomes the villain. Oh, first, I mean, I will say, that is by far the moment I enjoyed the most in this movie, was the shirtless Matt Smith dance scene.
So confusing. I mean,
very, very strange.
He had a little tease of a dance when he killed those guys in the subway, and it was like, it was brief and not explained, and I was like, I mean, not that they need to explain it, I guess.
Can I get an in-depth explanation of this Matt Smith dance scene?
But it was very peculiar, and then they just cut to this, I guess, like, transition scene. It had no purpose, but yet it had the most flavor.
No purpose, yet a lot of seasoning. It was insane. There were so many just weirdly just gross and awful Matt Smith dance moves in one, like, 30-second sequence.
And, like, the song was like, I'm gonna have sex tonight, or something like that.
I do not think that's what
that was what it sounded like. I believe that
Matt Smith just lyrics. Creeping forwards alone in a room. I'm gonna have sex tonight.
He's just doing an epic boogie. It's his coitus
He's
dance.
doing a shanty.
It's his ritual before going to the club.
Did you say it's pre-coitus dance?
We all have one.
That is the song. We all do, in fairness.
But yeah, no, that was peculiar.
I mean,
and he was just bad in general. I mean, he wasn't good.
He was awful. I did not understand why he becomes a villain at all. Like, what's going on? There's no motivation at all.
It's literally because
they're childhood friends. They've been friends for what, like 20 years. He's funded all of Dr. Michael Morbius's research. And then, like, he sees him go mad, and he's like, oh my god,
I want that.
And then he takes it, and then suddenly he's just bad guy and wants to kill Morbius. Morbius.
They do this, like, that's the thing that I hated about it, was, like, it was just the bare bones of it was like reading a Wikipedia entry about a movie, where it's like, it says what happens, and it's like, okay, I guess that, like, it happens, but, like, there's no interest to it, there's no, like, you don't feel any of it. It's like, okay, at the start they show he's like kind of a violent kid when he beats up that bully or whatever. And it's like, okay, he has like bad in him. And like that's supposed to be, and then like he's mad at Morbius because he won't let him, you know, become, take the cure, even though it turned him into an insane vampire man. And then he just,
he's not even that, the thing is, he's not even that mad because he's like, oh, I'm upset. But then they still like chat and chill afterwards. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he just takes the vial.
I will say I have a note here about Milo, which is, and this is completely shows my immaturity, and it's a very pod moment. But there's a part where they're talking, and then it hard cuts to like a wide shot of them sitting on a park bench at a park, and just there's like a beat, and then I just hear Morbius go, "I'm close." I just did imagine a very Dumbledore-esque scene. That's just the way it was framed. And I know I didn't think it alone because my girlfriend also laughed at the same time. So I know she was thinking it too. And I'm sorry. It was just...
Milo, I'm close.
Then, let's see. What else happened here? Okay. Can we just establish that Tyrese Gibson is the most nothing character I have ever seen in any film ever? I would have welcomed some terrible Tyrese humor. I'll be honest. Tell me anything about that character. He was literally just there to like say exposition and like transition between scenes.
He barely did that. Like the weird like
his sidekick.
I hated him as well. He was so terrible.
Yeah.
But he said way more than Tyrese, and Tyrese is supposed to be like the big bad freaking chief inspector, and he comes and like he says like I think he got like a handful of lines the entire thing.
He did the same scene like over and over again where he walks in a place and he goes like and then the wisecracking sidekick says some unfunny thing. And then like that's it. And it's like why was he in the movie?
Why was he in the movie? He adds nothing to the movie. The most nothing character ever.
Yeah, it was absurd.
See the final fight, very bad.
Yeah, he summons all the bats. Pretty.
I've got a question. Why can he do that, but Milo can't? But they've taken the exact same thing.
I don't know, because he had a bat connection. Because he's like, I feel like I'm their brother or whatever, and I'm a weird.
But he said that he said that after he took the thing.
He did,
so surely
right.
Milo would feel the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it also. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer. It also devolved into the like. It didn't even devolve into the whole movie was just him fighting another version of himself, which is like the most annoying superhero trope. I did also another moment I got a bit of a laugh out of. Speaking of the action, that scene in the train, the train station when Morbius. First of all, his train flying, hilarious looking, and second of all,
very strange.
I really
it looks like I did burst out laughing at one point in the movie, not from anything the movie did, but I just imagined that the only way that Dr. Michael Morbius can fly is through fart.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like that, honestly. He also looked like a flying squirrel. Did he not?
He did. Yeah, like the way he had like his arms out and like the way like the weird like particles trailed behind him was very like red flying squirrel-esque.
And I did really feel like in that scene, when he flew onto the other track, I was just really hoping the other train was just going to splatter him. Like that would be the end of the movie. It's like this heroic, epic moment, and then just smack.
It'd be funny if like he just got no velocity from the train behind him and just like drove over him. Milo just looks down at his decapitated friend. It's like, Michael.
Let's see. The female character was also uninteresting.
Terrible.
She also, at the end, she becomes Mrs. Morbius, coined, trademarked. BHL had said, not really, please don't sue me. But
I also will not lie. I fell asleep and missed that moment until it was told to me.
How dare you?
I know.
You fell asleep during Morbius? The police are coming for you right now. Do you hear them?
I hear them. I fell asleep during that one moment because the movie was boring me to death. I was like, did she bite him or something? Like, how did she?
Yeah, I don't know. I will not lie. I was half paying attention by the end. I was not really in it.
It was very like, and then she like, and then suddenly her eyes are red.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Another moment.
Wait for Morbius 2.
Morbius 2. Morbius?
Ooh, more BS. I mean, I believe that Cian's already made that joke.
Oh, has he?
I think so.
I mean, it's in fairness, it's not the hardest joke to think of.
No, I think there's like on the pod fan page, there's been like 5 Morbius.
Oh yeah, I think I did. I remember it said like Forbius, which I really enjoyed.
Forbius.
Another moment that I enjoyed, not because of the movie, but during that train station fight scene, there was one of those classic 20,000 slow-mo moments, and it was supposed to be this really like epic moment, and then someone in the cinema like did a weird sneeze during that moment. It just punctuated it perfectly. It wasn't it was like a weird like sad wet sneeze. It was like it was just very fitting for this like terrible moment in the movie.
A sad, disappointing wet sneeze.
That sums up Morbius pretty well. A sad, disappointing wet sneeze.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Very fitting. Can we talk post-credit scenes?
Well, I got just some random notes.
Okay.
I'll just run through these real quick. I just wrote Leto abs. Thoughts?
Hot, I'll say.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Here's something. And he does eventually get discovered by Tyrese, and he puts on the crutches again. But there's a period of time between when he gets the Morbius juice, and then he, like, gets caught by Tyrese, he's just walking around, and it's like, you're like very famous guy appearing on the news, getting awards from the King of Sweden or whatever. It's like,
who's presumed like who's wanted or dead or something, or, like after the whole boat.
Yeah, and then you're just walking. It's like, you'd think someone before Tyrese, like, where are your crutches? Like, people are gonna know. And like, yeah, and then the guy is like, you look pretty healthy. It's like, yeah, anyone else should notice. Like, hey, anyone notice?
Pilates helps. Like,
yeah. Also, yeah, the jokes were anyway. Yeah. So anyway, it takes.
Can I also talk? I don't know if you've seen the TikTok I sent you. But on TikTok, every time I go on TikTok, which is not often in fairness, but every single time I go, there's always this like really generically awful like advertisement / trailer for Morbius that just, it gets me genuinely so like angry every time it comes up. It's like, like the normal like TikTok like Siri voice where it's like, yeah, like that kind of thing. It's like, fun facts about Morbius. and then it's like he is a Marvel legend. And then you see and then you see Dr. Michael Morbius flying after the train. And then the next one is he's super fit. And you see like Leto's abs, and then it's just cut to Pilates helps. It just goes on like that. It was like, those like really shitty mobile games that like no one ever buys. It's that exact type of trailer, but for Dr. Michael Morbius.
Also, I love that those are the two defining Morbius things: Marvel legend, questionable, and also super fit. Not questionable, but also not a reason to see the movie.
Not a reason at all.
We have 3 moments. My last 3 before the post credits, just 3 terrible Morbius moments. One, when he says "hello, stranger" on the bus to the girl, just kind of made me laugh. It was a very Morbius moment. Hello, stranger. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. That was a facepalm worthy moment. And the Venom moment pissed me off more than anything else in the film for some reason, because it worked better in the trailer. Even though it was terrible in the trailer, because in the trailer he goes, I'm just kidding, I'm Michael Morbius. In the movie...
just kidding, it's Dr. Michael Morbius. In the movie, he doesn't
a Marvel legend.
I'm super fit, by the way. I do Pilates. They
Check
help.
these bad boys out.
He just gets insanely overconfident. Just gets naked.
By the way,
I am Venom. Just kidding, I'm super sexy.
But in the movie, he doesn't... Like, it's such a weird reference that, like... Is that a thing is that a commonly known phrase in this universe? Why would he say that to that guy at that moment? It was such a lazily thrown in reference that seemed like it was only there to be put in the trailer. It was just, I don't know.
It was terrible. And then, he doesn't even say that, just kidding, it's Dr. Michael.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like, why would... It's not a joke. In fairness,
it wouldn't make sense if you said it either. Like some random thug. It's like, just kidding. It's your good old pal, Dr. Michael Morbius.
Well-renowned scientist who gets cucked by the King of Sweden or whatever.
He was what? Cucked by the King of Sweden?
Whatever happened at the start, I wasn't paying attention.
I think he refused a Nobel Peace Prize.
It's kind of a similar vein.
Similar vibe. You either refuse a Nobel Peace Prize or you get cucked by the Prince of Sweden.
Well, should we talk post-credits?
I think we should.
I think they were truly the 2 worst post-credit scenes I've ever seen.
Me too.
Like,
genuinely awful. First of all, they were completely connected.
Okay, I have a theory that's like, it's very vague, but it felt to me like they, didn't know what was going to happen in No Way Home, which I don't know how, because it's the same studio. But it felt like they didn't know. They were just like, okay, we want Michael Keaton in this so we can put him in the trailer, so let's just film a bunch of random Keaton shit. And then we'll just...
literally just Keaton taking shit.
And then...
Imagine that. Michael Morbius walks out onto a field. In the distance, he hears like a faint scuffle. Stands up. Highlighted eyes. And you just see the vulture pull his pants up.
I think, because there's also all that shit in the trailer. Not literal shit. No, there's like that scene at the end of the trailer where he's talking to him and he's like, what's up, doc? And that, that got cut out of the film. I feel like they just filmed a bunch of shit and then they were like, we gotta throw this together somehow. And then at the end, okay, I'm so confused because the second one, clearly they didn't have Keaton there. And so but I think they made the choice, we want to have the vulture suit because that like looks cooler, that'll make for more headlines or whatever. So let's just put some like Keaton voiceover over it. And then they were like, but that doesn't make sense, why is Keaton there? I guess we'll throw in this scene beforehand where it was that post-credit scene on its own is the most anticlimactic, lame...
Yeah.
It's just, he's there, and then he gets in a car, and like...
Yeah, it's It's like, Keaton's in this universe, but is he?
Also, why would he be in this universe? They got sent to their own universes at the end. He's from the MCU. Why would he be teleported out of that universe?
Morbius is in this is in the MCU.
But he wouldn't. But Keaton would have been teleported out of the MCU.
No, but is Morbius just in it beforehand?
But then why would Keaton show up in the MCU? Like, reappear in the MCU? He didn't go anywhere. In No Way Home.
True.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
It literally makes no sense. Maybe this is during the events of No Way Home.
But if it takes place in the MCU, then Keaton shouldn't be moving at all, like between dimensions.
Also true.
Keaton's in the MCU already.
Yeah, he's already in the... Yeah.
So if anything, Morbius should be moving dimensions. Anyway, but yeah.
If anything... Yeah,
they made no sense.
It's a paradox that you just cannot solve because it makes no sense.
And just like the scenes themselves, it honestly would have worked better as one post-credit scene. Like if they just cut up, it just was so weird that like that was the first scene, which is Keaton, and he's like, I wonder if the food's better in this joint, and then he gets in a car and like, then more credits for like 30 seconds and another scene. It's like just put those together. It would have felt a little more natural, I guess. It was just,
and also the fact that why are they teaming up? I don't get it because
they don't.
Dr. Michael Morbius is a good guy, right?
And it was so poorly written. It felt like some terrible fan fiction where it's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but it probably has something to do with Spider-Man. Anyway, you want to
Spider-Man?
Team up? You want to do a
You want to team up and fight Spider-Man? And Morbius is just like, I'm listening.
Morbius is like, I don't know who the fuck Spider-Man is. It's like,
I don't know who Spider-Man is or who you are.
Spider-Man.
Why am I talking to you?
Shouldn't be in this world. Is he? He's not in the Venom world. And then also, the only thing I liked about it was that maybe it means, because nothing means anything, maybe Andrew Garfield can be transported to this Venom verse, and we could get a Venom Andrew Garfield team up. But also, and I make this point in my review, do we want Andrew Garfield in this world? Venom 2 and this are terrible. Venom 1, whatever. We have differing opinions, but it was definitely better than these two.
I enjoy. Yeah, definitely.
And then we got Kraven the Hunter, we got Venom 3, we've got Madam Web, all these like fucking things coming up. It's like this universe should just I hate to say it, but it should just have the blood sucked out of it, Morbius style.
Very true. Double hand gagak.
I'm just saying, the way he deep-throated that blood was just...
It was very weird. Like, I feel like he could just normally sip it and drink it like a bottle, but he just freaking squished it.
Well, overall, give me a rating. What are we feeling?
I'm going to give this movie 2 Milos out of 65 Dr. Michael Morbiuses.
I'm going to give
Which on a normal scale is probably like a -5.
I'm going to give this movie...
Also, can we just say, Milo completely murdered just cold-bloodedly the guy who was taking care of him for his entire life.
Oh yeah, his like dad basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it... Yeah. I gave it 2.9 out of 10 in my review. Or weird score, but yeah. Yeah, not a good movie.
Weirdly specific on such a low number.
Anyway, now it's time for...
The Timecodes.
Well, we have actually a pretty major piece of Timecodes. I think there's other pieces of Timecodes, but I guess we'll save them for another time because we have a new Top Gun 2 trailer this week. Did you see it?
We do not. Surely. I did not see it.
You basically get the gist from the other trailer, but it's more, they're like, we need someone to come in and train all these new young bucks. Who could we get in? And they're like, oh, we don't want to get that guy in. He was such a maverick.
He was a maverick.
And then he's like, wait a minute, I'm here. And then big twist.
Wait a minute, I'm here already.
Get fucked, John Hamm. I'm already in the vicinity. And then terrible twist. I mean, we already knew this, but a mustachioed Miles Teller. That's it. That's the whole twist. No, a mustachioed Teller's like, I won't make the same mistakes as my father. His father's Goose. So Cruise has to bond with Goose's spawn.
Offspring. Goose's spawn. What an awful way of putting that.
That's how Cruise refers to him. You're Goose's spawn, ain't you?
So you're Goose's fastest swimmer, eh?
So yeah, anyway, it looks pretty good.
Also,
actually.
what mistakes did Goose do? He literally had like no control. It was all Iceman.
Well, I think he was like, the mistake was like being friends with Tom Cruise, and so he's like, I won't do that again. I was like, I thought you were referring to Miles Teller as Goose's mistake. What mistakes did Goose do to end up with a kid like that? But yeah, anyway, good stuff. And I mean, it looks like a pretty good movie. I mean, visually, it has some pretty spectacular looking action stuff. So yeah,
cool,
good stuff.
Cool.
Now it is time for the announcements and such. We'll just do it right now, I guess, real quick.
All right.
Comments in the last pod. ZJ says, help, Bruce Buffer broke into my house and is pissing in all of my toilets. Excellent.
How many toilets do you have?
Yeah, that's actually...
And I've not known Bruce to use a toilet. So You're lucky.
Kian says, Freddy's version of the Morbius Venom joke made me laugh more than the entirety of Morbius. Fair. Terrible movie.
Thank you.
Dermot says,
not difficult.
Getting hunted down by an old woman in Ireland is actually pretty common. I will watch my back. Daniel says, another really great, enjoyable episode. Can't wait for the Morbius episode next week. Keep up the great works. Thank you, Daniel. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Josie says, I've never been more excited for a film review than your reviews for Morbius. Probably taking my day off on Friday just to listen to it. Can't wait for next week. Also, great episode. One of my favorites. Thank you, Josie. I hope, again, I hope it lived up to the expectations. Kian left Peacemaker What a Joke in like 10 different languages. I believe
there is Danish there.
Peacemaker Vilken Joke.
Peacemaker Vilken Joke.
Excellent. And my personal favorite, Pacificador que broma. Nailed that. Who would win, 5 Morbiuses or George from Movie Guy? Definitely George. George would demolish 5 Morbiuses.
I definitely think, yeah.
Cal W. Can't wait for the poorly planned to cover the Will Smith slap. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Jaden, can we get a petition going for Freddy to grow a Hercule stash if possible? But if not, can we get a compromise by him getting a Morbius tattoo? I like that. That's
Is that the compromise?
I think next time, how about you grow out your beard fully, and then next time you shave, you leave on the Poirot stash for like a day or something like that. How about that?
I like it.
Or do the petition, get that clout.
Or get the Morbius tattoo,
Jaden also says, Dune, what a Morbius, probably the best bird in the fake mustache Peacemaker. Terrifying comment.
Terrifying, yet very delightful.
And Anoha says, whenever I leave a comment that's too long, it removes it from sight. I don't know why. See, this one is sticking because it's not too long, but my others have seemingly disappeared. I don't know why that is, Anoha. I'll look into that. Maybe it's being marked as spam accidentally by like YouTube systems. I don't know, but I will look into that. Sorry about that. And then on the fan page, bing, bang, bong. Let's get to it. That's the new fan page intro, by the way. Bing, bang, bong. Let's get to it. We have, oh my god, we have lots. The Morbius Rotten Tomatoes score and the Riddler saying that is not how this was supposed to go. Freddy slapping JC Comics talking shit about the last 4 Pirates movies as Will Smith.
I saw that as well.
And also the Drake meme for 72 and 73% off. Yeah.
You said the Drake meme as if you've never heard of it before. And also the Drake meme.
We have the Peacemaker thing from the comments. We have on our movies everyone loves that we hate. Wow, no dislikes on such a controversial video. The poorly planned fan base is truly the best fan base on YouTube. Very true.
It's true.
Have you agree?
Very true.
We have your hashtag stanky reaction with your girlfriend post Morbius, which I did enjoy.
Morbius.
And then we have Morbius sequel titles here. I see Morbius 2, Electric Boogaloo. Morbius 3, More BS. Classic.
There it is.
Forbius. And Morbius 5, Love at First Bite. So great stuff. The fan pages are linked down below. And, finally, actually, we have another piece of Tom Cnews. You know what? I'll save it for next week. Fuck it.
You're saving it.
It's a timeless piece of Tom Cnews. But it's from, on the email. But anyway, we'll get to that. So, that was the episode this week. I think, honestly, this is like, I feel like it's been since Rampage that we've been like this hyped
to talk about a movie,
and I feel like it was a good time. Like, yes, it was a movie, but it provided us with some good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment on your thoughts on Morbius down below, and whatever else we talked about. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where we also are, leave a 5-star rating and follow. I think that's a thing you can do there.
Ooh, follow now?
But and all the good stuff. And, the fan pages, the fan-made TikTok, linked down below. And you can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Twitter at FDK_DaltSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidagard. And you can find me on YouTube at FDK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Michael Morbius.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.